Okay, so we've learned about lists, and we know that lists allow us to store a collection of data. Tuples also allow us to store a collection of data. So tuples, and I put my country pronunciation here, my country pronunciation guide, because for some reason I want to say tuples, which is not, I mean, it's not like incorrect. Some people do say tuples, but most people say tuples. Okay, so a tuple, if we want to create a tuple, we put parentheses around them. Okay, instead of square brackets, we use parentheses. So if I want to print out my tuple that I created, run that and see it does print with parentheses instead of square brackets. Lots of the things with a tuple work exactly the same as did with a list. So tuples have index values. That means they have positive index values and reverse index values. So if we print st tuple 1, that's going to print Dustin. If we print st tuple -1, that prints our last item, which is Lucas. We could also print a range of values. So if I do 1:3, I get Dustin and Will, which again, 1 index, but stops before it gets to 3, so only Will and Dustin. And then I can even use the len function to get the size of my tuple. So if I run this, of course, I'm going to get 4. Okay. I can use the index value, the index function, to find where a specific item is. So in this case, I'm saying, hey, where is Dustin in the list? And if I not the list, in the tuple, if I run this code, it tells me the index value of Dustin in my tuple is 1. And that is indeed correct. If 0, 1, Dustin is in the 1 index position. Okay. Now, what if I wanted to change my tuple into a list? I could do that as well. Here I have created a st, setting it equal to list st tuple, and if I print my st, it's going to print as a list in those square brackets and not in those parentheses. Now, that's about it. I may have missed some of them, but that's about where their similarities end. Look what happens if I try to add something to a tuple. So in this case, I'm saying st tuple.append 11, like we did with our list. What happens when I run that? I get an error. That is because unlike lists, tuples are immutable. Tuples and strings are immutable, lists are mutable. That means you cannot change things about your tuple. You cannot. It's immutable. That also means that that my sort is not going to work. Somehow I got an extra thing there. That's not what I meant to do. Hold on. I'm trying to get sort. Sort will not work, and reverse will not work because they are immutable. So it is good sometimes to have immutable objects because you may not want them to change. And if you have a collection of data that you don't want to change, that's when you use a tuple. But if you have a collection of data that you think might change, then that's when you want to use a list. And remember, you can convert a list into a tuple, so there you go.